Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see a program to accept a number and check whether the number is a palindrome number or not using functions. So you already seen palindrome number program in previous videos. It is a number which reads the same when you reverse it. Say for example 141, when you reverse the number it will be the same 141. So 141 is a palindrome number. If you reverse 123, it will become 321. And it is not same, so it is not a palindrome number. So you are going to check after reversing it using functions. Okay, so you are going to see the question first, accept a number and check whether the number is a palindrome number or not by using the function name reverse intn. So you are going to use the function reverse and you are going to take one parameter, that is input. Okay, one variable, that is n, as input. Okay, which will be of integer type. The function return, that is after reversing this, the function returns the reverse number to the main program that checks the palindrome number. So in the main program, what you are going to do is you are going to call the function reverse and it gets back the reversed number. You are going to compare it. You are going to check whether the original number and the reverse number is same. If it is same, then you are going to display it as a palindrome number, otherwise it is not a palindrome number. So we will see that in BlueJ. You can see the first line, import java.util.scanner, which is used to include the scanner package, scanner class, which is available in scanner util package into the program. And the first line is the class name, public class, palin number, no, that is the class name. And here we got a function to reverse the number, so the name is reverse according to the question. And it will take one parameter, one value, okay, and it returns an integer value. So this is what the function does. Okay, it will take the number, reverse it and return it back. So inside this you can see two variables declared, one is digit, second one is rev. So digits is used to store the digit, that is after separating the digits one by one, it will be stored in digit. And rev is the variable which stores up the reversed number. Okay, so here you are going to use a while loop. Okay, this will end when the number, that is the parameterized value, to 0. Once it becomes 0, this loop will be terminated. So till that it will keep on executing. So you can see the first line, digit equal to n percentage 10. So for example, if you take the example of 141, okay, see the first value which will be separated is 1, because when you divide any number by 10, you can see that the last digit will be removed, that is it will be taken as remainder, and that will be stored in digit. And the next line, rev equal to rev into 10 plus digit. This one already we discussed. It is nothing but when you multiply rev, which is already declared as default value 0, into 10, it becomes 0. So 0 plus 1 will be 1, that will be stored in rev. Second time, the number what you are going to get, that is n equal to n slash 10. So 141 divided by 10, the quotient will be 14. That means you are removing the last digit out. So 14 will be stored in n. So this time it checks whether the number 14 is equal to 0. It is that is not equal to 0. It is not equal to 0. It enters the loop. Now digit equal to 14 percentage 10. Here it will take the last digit out. That is 4 will be stored in digit, because that is the remainder you are going to get. Okay, when you multiply it by 10. So 4 will be stored in digit. Now you can see rev equal to rev into 10 plus digits. Already rev stores the value 1, which will be multiplied by 10, so it becomes 10. 10 plus 4 is nothing but 14, and that will be stored in rev again. Okay, this is the reason we are multiplying by 10, because you directly add the number, it will sums up the number. You need to join the number, right? Mathematically, when you want to join the number, you have to multiply the number, make it as a 2-digit number. Okay, and then you can add it so that it will look like it concatenating the numbers. And the third time the number is reduced by, that is before the third iteration, the number will be reduced to 1, because 14 divided by 10 quotient will be 1. Okay, now it will check 1 not equal to 0, it is true, it enters inside. Now digit equal to 1 percentage 10. Now normally you know that when you divide any number by the divisor is larger than the dividend, the same number will be the remainder. So 1 will be the remainder, that will be stored in digit. So already you have 14 here. 14 into 10 is 140 plus 1 will be 141. So the same number 141 is stored in REV. And now you can see now n equal to n slash 10, that is 1 slash 10. So quotient will be 0 because it is not divisible. So automatically you will get the quotient as 0. Okay, now it will check the condition whether it is not equal to 0, it is false. So that means it terminates the loop and comes out. Now whatever number is stored in REV will be returned to the main function. So already as per the example 141 is stored in REV. So that will be returned to the main function. Now we are going to see the main function. Okay, so obviously the main function will be executed first. So this will be the start of the program. So you have got a scanner object, the line which you used to create a scanner object, and then get the input from the user. So enter a number, it will be stored in NUM. And now you can see the object creation line, where you can see that Palin number is the class name and OB is the object, and new Palin, that is the constructor name, which you have not learned till now. Okay, so here it will create an object OB. Okay, and next line you can see if OB dot reverse num equal to num. So it may be confusing for you because you are using both num and num, left hand side and right hand side. Now what happens is, here you are going to, this is the beauty of functions, where you can use the variable, that is whatever variable you use, automatically it will be stored as a formal value. So here you can see that in pass by value, actual value will not be disturbed, only the formal value, whatever changes you make will be done. So here that num will not become 0 because it is the n value which becomes 0. You can see that n value is becoming 0, not the num value, okay, which you already discussed in pass by value. Okay, so here you are going to pass suppose you are going to take the input as 141. So you are going to call the function reverse with the object OB, and you are going to pass 141 to the function. So this num which has 141 takes the value to the reverse function, and it will store into the variable, that is it is a local variable. Okay, you call it as parameterized variable. So it will have the value 141. So n becomes 0 after this, but num value will be the same 141 itself. It is not disturbed. So you are going to compare it with the if state, that is you are going to compare with the reverse number, what you are going to get. So here you are going to reverse, you can see the return value is the reverse number, which will be the left hand side number, which is compared with the original value, that is 141. So if it is same, then you are going to print it is a palindrome number, otherwise you are going to print it is not a palindrome number. This is how the program works. So let's see how it executes. We'll check the output. So now syntax errors, I am going to execute it. Okay, the first number I am going to give is 141. So you got a lot of palindrome numbers. You can try out anything. Say 141 is a palindrome number. You can try out any number of digits. Say I am going to give it as say 1441. This is also a palindrome number because when you reverse it, it will be the same. Okay, I am going to give a number which is not a palindrome. We will check whether it's working or not. 123. So 123 is not a palindrome number. So hope you understood this program. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, thank you.